So we are going to tidy up our program in this video. We're going to take these two statements and only make them work if somebody chooses 1, 2, 3 or 4. At the moment, if I choose any other number such as 5, which shouldn't do any operation, we haven't got an menu selection for 5, we don't really need to ask them for the number. We can see that working. So if I run my program, if I choose 5, it's still going to ask me for numbers and it's not going to do anything with them. So I want to take that out. So it's just a logical thing in the program. It's not any new programming, but it is going to increase the number of lines of code that we've got. So let's go back. So we're asking for these numbers straight after they've made their selection. But if I put them inside what happens for choice 1, choice 2 or 3 or 4, the only time it will ask for those is if I've made that choice. So let's do that. Let's copy these two lines. Press enter. Now when we press enter here, it will automatically indent, because that will now make it part of that block. And if I press paste, it will put it in. Now this hasn't been indented. I can either choose to use format indent region to get it right, or I'll show you on this one, paste it there, or I can just put the 4 spaces in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Please make sure that they actually line up. This will give you an error, unlike last time, if we don't line them up. So I'm going to put all of those inside there and indent this region. So it's only going to ask me for the numbers now if I choose 1, 2, 3 or 4. But I have to remove those 2 lines from there, so I'm going to delete them. So there we go, there's my program now. It's a little neater for the user, but probably not so neat for us, as we seem to be repeating a lot of this information. But we will handle that a little bit later. We don't need all of this, all of these lines. We will take them out at a later stage and see a neater option. So I'm going to run my program. Where's my menu? I'm going to choose 5 because I don't want to see it ask me for numbers. I'm just going to say, please choose a valid option from the menu and thank you for playing. Oops, it's still... This is the copy and paste problem that I've had. Let's close it down and start it again. Close the shell down to make it work properly. Better than keep deleting everything. So I'm going to choose 5 again. There we go. Please choose a valid option from the menu. Thank you for playing. It didn't ask me for numbers. It realised I hadn't chosen a valid option and just exited the program. So let's go through that. So it says here, please make an option. We chose 5. It looked there. Nope. Look there. Nope. Look there. Nope. Look there. Nope. And realised that it was something else. So it just printed, please choose a valid option from the menu, and then thank you for playing. Let's just check it one more time with a valid option. So I'm going to choose, I don't know, multiply, because it's halfway down the list. And see if it works nicely. It should ask me for 2 numbers. So I want to multiply. Whoops, I seem to have a problem. First number is not defined. Now, this is what I was talking about a lot earlier. I've actually placed, if you look at this, print, the answer is first number plus second number, but I don't ask for first number or second number until after I've tried to print it out. So these 2 statements here, okay, need to come before I use them. Okay. Now that will work. So I have to do it with all of them. So I'm pressing Control X. I'm thinking about the indentation. Control X to cut. Go back to the start of the line, paste it to keep the indentation. And I'll show you what happens if I don't go back to the start of the line. Because I'm highlighting a complete block there, right to the start of the line, I've got to go to the start of the line. So Control X to cut, and this time I'm just going to paste in this position. I'm not going to go to the start of the line, and it will put indentation in on the first one, which is incorrect. I could go there and I could just press the backspace key and it would do it neatly. So now, okay, I will not get this error because first number will be known before I try and do some work with it. Second number will be known before I try and do some work with it, before I try and process it. So we have to get the numbers before we process. Save. So 5 worked, and 5 worked previously. And it worked previously because it did not try to do any work with the numbers. Okay. So this time I'm going to select 3 for multiply, and there we go. Please enter a number 3 and 2. Your answer is 6, and thank you for playing. So let's go through this one again. Let's close this window and run that program again so that I can take you through each and every step. 3 and 2. There we go. So it printed the menu. Make a selection. I made a selection of 3. It checked, was it 1? No, it was 3. So it ignored those 3 statements. Was it 2? No, it was 3. So it ignored those 3 statements. Was it 3? Yes, it was. So it asked me for the first number, which I typed in 3. Then it asked me for the second number, which I typed in 2. Then it did the processing. Print the answer is first number times second number, which was 6. Then it ignored that because it wasn't 3. So it ignored those 3 statements. Then it came down to the else statement. It ignored the else statement because the answer was 3 and we dealt with it. In fact, what happens as soon as it finishes there, it jumps out of the if statement and says, thank you for playing. In fact, it doesn't check the else statement at all. It just says, thank you for playing. So that's the process for that. One final thing I'm going to do, which will help me or help you understand this thank you for playing, is if I put in a while loop, so I continue to loop through all of these options, okay, until I'm finished. So it will continue to run the program. It won't just stop the program here. So I'm going to do that, and the while loop needs to be the very first line of the program. So while true with a capital T, and just like the if statement where I had an if, I've got a while, then I had a Boolean condition. I've got a Boolean condition here which is just true, and then I had to have a colon. I've got to do the same here. While true, do everything inside the block. Well, actually there's nothing inside that while true block. I've got to put all of this code, with the exception of the last line, inside my while loop. So it's going to keep doing all of these lines over and over again, and only when this becomes false, which it never will be, will it say thank you for playing. So it should never ever say thank you for playing, it should always give you an option to keep doing maths. So let's save the program and run it. So I want to add, and back to the old-fashioned copy and paste. Please enter a number 2 and 3. The answer is 5, and straight away it gives me the next menu option. I'm running out of space again, so let's choose 2, enter a number 3 and 2. See if I can shrink this window down a bit. Three and 2, it gives me the answer 1, so 3 take away 2 is 1. Calculator, got the menu, please make a selection. I'm going to do the multiplication this time. Please enter a number 3 and 4, that's give me 12. And this time I'm going to divide 5, oops, I pressed 5 accidentally. It says please choose a valid option from the menu, that works nicely. So I actually want to choose 4 to do the division. 5 and 5, that gives me 1. Back to the menu. It never ever gives me that thank you for playing message. That is outside of my while block, and the while block, okay, this while block never ends. It is always true. To manage that, I would have to use a condition, and I'd have to think carefully about how I manage my condition. So at the moment we have a running program. It keeps putting the menu up, it keeps performing the maths. We're fine with it. Next we're going to start taking a look at loops and these conditions and how we can affect how our program works using loops.